Physical regimens reconnect the mind and the body. Lyme disease causes cavities, pockets in low vibration areas, multi-dimensional areas that restrict blood flow and inhibit healing. Low vibration sticky areas can be as big as a golf ball or as small as a pea. They can be shallow, the size of a quarter, or as long and thin like a worm. Lyme bacteria hide in these multi-dimensional restrictions. Necrotic, sticky, dying cell tissue loses vibration and sucks your energy like a black hole. Restrictions create tremendous inefficiency in the way that your energy circulates. And chronic Lyme occurs when physical restrictions inhibit recovery. Chronic Lyme is co-infections. And these co-infections are eating us because, well, that's just what they do. An incredibly physical disease. We're being eaten one cell at a time. But Lyme doesn't want to kill us, but rather think of Lyme as colonizing, farming us as their food source. So, buckle up for a battle that has an end, or surrender to a life of pain management. Foundationally, Lyme toxins, they glue the layers in your body together. Think of your body's layers like you would picture my lunch, this sandwich. So the layers, the bread, the cheese, the coleslaw on this, the meat, the pickles, all look fine layers between the skin, the muscle, the bone. But think of Lyme doing this to your actual body and the layers, creating these sticky restrictions. Think of the many layers of the body like you would the rings of a tree, just being mashed together versus being neatly divided. So the layers of the body become sticky and immobile, unable to glide. So they should typically be like this, whereas they're now stuck like this, and that's what creates those pains in your body. The bone, the muscles, the fascia, the connective tissue, the layers of the skin, they begin to stick together layer after layer. They become restricted and bunch over time. So restrictions, they become dense and hard as bacteria hide in these low blood flow spaces where antibacterials cannot reach them. Bacteria populate in these low blood flow areas, basically like mining your cells for food and creating stuck, sticky, low vibration, these dead spots, these cavitations within the body. So here, could be here, could be here, could be here, a lot in here. But Lyme bacteria, they do this because they're powerful, they're dangerous superbugs. They're superbugs with the powers, the magic superpowers of Quorum Sensing and Virulence. So let me tell you about Quorum Sensing. Quorum Sensing is how Lyme bacteria, how they organize, how they communicate as a group. Intelligently, the bacteria, they play both an offense and defense. They're using these chemical text type messages. These hormone-like messages travel in your bloodstream from like one Lyme restriction to another. So like the elbow to the knee to the neck. And these colonies, they unite, talking, forming a unified front, and collectively coordinate as they align for battle, fighting for survival of the species. So they unite and then they come together in virulence. And virulence, it's the act of a coordinated bacterial attack. Lyme forms these colonies that work together to coordinate attacks and overwhelm a significantly larger host. Mounting offensive, they attack when the time is right, always looking to gain control. Bacterial colonies, they organize in groups, procreating and growing in numbers within cysts and these restrictions. Tens of thousands or more. Maybe in the elbow, maybe in the neck, maybe in the knee. Hiding in these low blood flow areas of the body, organizing. All at once, they emerge in virulence with a goal to expand their territory and take over the host. So Lyme is a smart bacteria. They're opportunistic, naturally. They fight like rebel armies, similar to the strategies we witnessed in Vietnam or the Afghanistan wars. Using guerrilla warfare, they'll hide, waiting for a more favorable environment to take their ground. They tire us into exhaustion, playing the long game like the rebel guerrilla forces. You cannot fight rebels without a very specific executable plan. You'll be drained of resources and you most likely lose. So you become sicker and sicker as you're fighting many wars on many fronts. resources become thin. Cells end up dying faster than we can repair or rebuild them. Your energy stressed thinner and thinner until your eventual collapse as Lyme and co-infections pile up. So personally, cavities in the pockets all over my body, it freaked me out. I mean, it was a terror being eaten to death. Absolute terror. Bacteria barricade themselves into these cavities and pockets, calcifying these cysts, and they're festering, isolating themselves from our immune defenses, giving off toxic amounts of neurotoxins and calcium and gases, and creating a low oxygen environment in which their colonies survive and thrive, and our cells, well, they fade away. Restrictions growing under the skin, increasing in size and depth, while spirochetes drill down at eating the connective tissue in our joints through the muscles into the bone, creating constant bone pain, joint pain, muscle pain, deep, almost unimaginable pain, and bizarre nervous system issues that couldn't walk more than a few steps and drag my legs like they were 100-pound bags of concrete. My eyes went to shit, my hands shook, my handwriting became illegible. I lost more and more of my personal identity every passing day. Some areas of the body dead, some areas became ultra sensitive, some dead, some highly sensitive. My cells were suffocating, and I was unequipped to fight back. Eventually, after too much torture, my brain created a literal block between itself and both the body and the nervous system. I believe this was an instinctual survival strategy. The brain works in self-preservation to reduce the overall stress load so that we can survive. The brain-body relationship, it changes as we begin to lose awareness daily. My brain disconnected from the intense pain areas attempting to preserve me from my life of terror. With brain fog, incomprehensible neuromuscular pain, and countless treatment options, where's the battle begin? And definitely, when does it end? So, I mean, it's information overload. It's just too much. Digesting health information from chronic illness, it's like drinking from a fire hose. Chronic illness, it's a roller coaster of emotions, and we become overwhelmed by fear, rage, anxiety, and of course, panic. Searching day and night, thousands and thousands of Google search results creates a cascading sense of confusion and fear. I learned the hard way. Being an all or nothing kind of guy, I waged the equivalent of like a nuclear attack by super treating with hundreds and thousands of milligrams of antibiotics. Shock and awe, baby. The antibiotics, though, maybe it wasn't the right way, because they beat up my liver, my kidneys, my intestines. And the Lyme bacteria and co-infections, well, they retreated, hiding in the cysts, and they just waited for a better environment to come out in force, dodging the massive amounts of antibiotics. So the goal of the antibiotics was to create an environment in which the bacteria can't live, and so they just hid. Well, during my personal battle, the more I searched for the answers, the more confused I became. I saw so many doctors, so many new appointments. I became sick and tired of telling my story. Absolutely sick of telling my story. Exhausted. I was exhausted. It took me into these dark places each time. Depressing, and even more so, I would hand my practitioners hundreds of pages of well-organized material, and they wouldn't even look at it. Look, my disease had a purpose, and that purpose is to help you win your battle. Winning, it requires harnessing your dark emotions with a chip on your shoulder, manifesting your passion and your hate for your disease into a work ethic, a drive, a relentless passion for life and opportunities that you will have when you heal your body. The gifts that you will have earned through your experiences will guide you through the rest of your life. A unique gift of perception that enables you to live without fear, as you've already witnessed hell. Earn your unique perspective on life as you develop a plan to build the new you. How do you build the new you? Well, autophagy. Think of the word autophagy. You have to kill your sick cells, repair your repairable cells, and birth the new you, creating new high-energy cells. A plan to build new cells in the heart, the lungs, the bone, the liver, the brains, the arms, the legs, all over. New cells that vibrate at a much higher level, a level that the bacteria and virus actually can't live in. When, with a plan to resolve both acute and chronic symptoms, reconnect mind and body using your hands to perform physical regimens and reconnect the mind and body to restore blood flow to the physically restricted cells for repair and to rebuild. Suffering from acute and chronic pain, it won't get any better without the practice of physical regimens. Physical regimens are key to becoming pain-free. It's time to change the conversation. It's Lyme time.